in there. When you have high expectations and you push and find ways to fire people up, anything's possible. Now the thing is, you can't just set a high expectation and go, get there. You got to set that high expectation and then get in there with them and fire them up, find ways to uplift people, uplift kids, and get them to that level. And when you do that, anything's possible. The third thing I wanted to change when I first got to the classroom is something that deals with our whole society, and it just deals with manners. My grandma raised me, y'all. True Southern upbringing, North Carolina, and she was all about live your life so that you positively affect people around you. Whenever you have a question about how you should handle a situation, ask yourself, how will it affect others? She was all about respect and manners and appreciation. And when I got in that school, I was like, what are parents teaching these days? Those kids were crazy. They'll spit all over the cafeteria floor. They were rude to the cafeteria workers, running up down the hall, talking back to their parents, bullying each other. I said, this is crazy. I'm going to start teaching some of my grandmama's rules. And so I came up with a list of 55 rules for my kids. And they're not really rules. They're more like things my grandmama taught me. How to be a good person. And once I slowed it down and taught those 55 things to these kids, how to say excuse me, how to help people, how to do things when people don't expect it, how to give a firm handshake and look someone in the eyes and to show respect to someone who is elderly. All these things, once I took the time to teach it to the kids, the results were incredible. And I was working with challenging kids, but every kid I've worked with, Harlem, North Carolina, Atlanta, wherever, once I showed them what I expected, the results were great. I'll give you one example. Let's say, for example, what's your name? I come to Liz, and I say, Liz, what's 2 times 3? And let's say Liz doesn't know it. All right, that's a simple question. Normally what you'll see in a class is this. You see, other kids want to give the answer. One of my 55 rules, put your hands down. This is her question. Because you know what Liz has learned? Liz has learned if she doesn't know the answer, she can go, I don't know. And the teacher will say, well, how about, could you help us out? Or could you give the answer? She's learned. All she has to do is do a dumb look. I don't know. And it's going to go to the next person. In our school, we have no Harry Potter invisibility cloaks. We see all of you. You ain't going nowhere. And I'm going to sit right here till you get it. And kids, not one of you will do this. Keep your hands down. It is her question. Now, she's going to have to give the answer. But if you are like, this is so easy, I'm going to go insane, and you want to raise your hand, here's what you do instead. You go, come on, you can do it, you can get it. And when she starts to clap, all of you clap for her. And it's the darndest thing, y'all. Whenever the claps stop, the kid always has to answer. I don't care how hard the answer is. 90% of the time, she has to answer. She just needed a little bit longer. Just a couple more seconds. The air clears. Then she gives the answer. It's great. But if she doesn't know it, then I'll say, well, let's look up here on the board. Everybody, let's look up here. 2 times 3. What does this really mean? But it's still her question to answer, but I'm walking her through it now to help her. But usually I don't have to get to that point, because once the clap comes, she gets it. And so it's all about being specific and letting kids know, here's what I expect. Kids come in my classroom, they come in, blah, 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 blah. Hey, Mr. Clark, coming crazy, I get out in the hall. All of you out in the hall. I said, I'm going to teach you how I want you to walk in this classroom. I want you to come in a straight line, and when you see me, I want you to say, good morning, Mr. Clark. And I want you to have a brisk pace, not too fast, not too slow. It's brisk. You come in, how you doing, Mr. Clark? You come in, you sit down, bam, open your notebook, okay, you're ready to go. Get out in the hall. Let's try it again. No, you're walking too slow. You walk too fast. Out in the hall. Out in the hall. Come on in. No, when you open your notebook, stuff was falling out. I want it neat. Fix it in the hall. Look out in the hall. And it might take 30 minutes of out in the hall. In, perfect, not quite. When my kids in Harlem, they could do this perfect after the 3rd time they had it perfect. Okay, so finally, we come in. Good afternoon, Mr. Clark. Good afternoon. Perfect. I want to like this every day. The next day they come in, it's not right. Out in the hall. Out in the hall. Again. Finally, perfect. 3rd day, perfect. 4th day, perfect. The rest of my year, how nice is this? They come in, they know what I expect. Other kids in other classes running in crazy. I let them know my expectations, just like you business leaders. If you take your employees and the more specific you can be with them about here's exactly what I need you to do, the better the results are going to be. If my staff doesn't do something like I want or doesn't turn out the way I wanted, I ask myself first, was I specific enough? It's all about being specific and letting people know your expectations.